Look, the hope, if there is hope for humanity, it lies in the youth. I mean, people my age, we screwed up. I mean, we're George W. Bush, we're, elected Donald Trump. We are not taking control of things the proper way. So you guys have to save the world. I'm the founding producer of the International Human Rights Art Festival in New York City. I think art is capable, and this is certainly the point of our project, of opening a space for conversation around difficult and important social issues. However, I also think it's very important for art and to find a way to reach out outside of the art world and to engage with political and social leaders, as well as social activists who might be in trouble. And for instance, we dedicated this particular event at Columbia University to a man we've worked with named Saware Omoyele, who is in jail in Nigeria as an activist and on a hunger strike. And we wanted to draw the linkage between the art that we do and we've done up here at Columbia and a Columbia University graduate, Saware, who is working for social change in his home country of Nigeria.
My name is Noah Levy-Veron, and I'm the student producer of the International Human Rights Art Festival. The idea of the project came because I was volunteering for the main edition of the International Human Rights Art Festival last year, and I first really liked the project, and I also progressively realized that it connected all of the dots in my life between my classes, my extracurricular activities, and everything that I'm passionate about. And so, as I was also an interviewer at Red Rock magazine on campus, I realized the amazing potential of artists on campus. So I proposed Tom Block, the producer of the main festival, to bring the festival to Columbia and for student artists to be the center of the show.
My name is Moira Hamilton. I am a graduate student at Teachers College at Columbia University in art and art education. Being a Latin American studies major, I would hear stories and history that aren't told. So I felt it was very important to show these instances and talk about them. A lot of people don't know these stories and are really surprised if you look behind me, like they don't know there's a Black Lives Matter in Brazil and they don't know about comfort women from Japan.
It was amazing to see how artists collaborated with each other. So for example, Celia Lee has this idea of creating a piece about Rohingya refugees where she wanted to hang cranes that people would fold during the show. And Mohammed Khalil, who is a sculptor, said, okay, I can build you the structure and we can make that happen.
I did that piece for the young artist. So it's not about me or her or him, it's about we all together. First, we enjoyed what we're doing, and the second, we add to each other something. We learn from each other, and we live in peace. This is small scale. You can imagine if we make it in a bigger scale. I'm sure it will be better.
There was this one time in middle school where there was this girl I had a crush on, and I was Facebook stalking her, and I was like, oh, she likes Toy Story 2? Maybe this could work out. But then I looked at her liked pages and she had liked the KKK's Facebook page? Talk about a red flag! But was that a deal breaker for 14-year-old me? No.
So I'm Charlie. I'm a French person. I'm a student here at Columbia. As a senior, I'm majoring in sociology and gender and sexuality studies.
So I go by the name of Mamadou Yatasai. I'm from Harlem. I was born in Harlem. My family's originally from Bamako, Mali. I'm 20 years old. I consider myself as a poet, musician, but this also as well, I consider myself just a, advocate for, Black thought, to elevate Black beauty.
This is why I say that hip-hop has done more damage to young African Americans than racism in recent years.
So this piece that I'm doing is basically based on a close friend of mine that I grew up at the middle school, Tyleek Allen, unfortunately passed away due to gun violence. It's been like a taboo, I think, for like young Black males to talk about their trauma, to talk about the things and talk about the issues that they've been dealing with. Like, it's okay to talk about these traumas, to have anxiety and do all this stuff. And I think with my poetry, my music, I try to emulate that a lot.
Le message que vous envoyez à toutes les petites filles qui ont été violées dans ce pays.
Voilà,
c'est le
je dis
message que
aux
c'était
hommes,
pas
violez les
grave.
femmes. D'ailleurs, je viole la même tous les soirs.
Not everybody can talk, right, or share those experiences, but a lot of people tell their stories through art or dance or music or sculpture, right?
I learned more about family stories, about sexual abuse, and we had this family therapy thing. So we kind of did a very big dive in my family history. So it's kind of a family piece in the end. I don't really know who's talking, I don't really know who I'm supposed to represent, probably just myself and how it affects me, but I think it's really like a mix of the emotions that are embedded in this.
It breaks my heart when I find out these stories and the truth that has happened, right? It's not necessarily inspiration as so much as it just moves me. It's so passionate that I need to tell the story. My latest piece is on rape culture. I was a victim of rape. My children that I've adopted were also severely beaten and abused and raped. And this is getting worse every year. So it's very important that I share those kind of things. So that's not something that inspired me. It actually helped me heal as I work through that.
Focus, try to get the emotion even though it's through a video. So it's hard to get all the pressure, what people have built in this space through a screen, but try to dive into that.
We don't recognize that we have to uplift ourselves in order to uplift others. And we're our biggest enemy. So I think, remember that you got to do it for yourself, and you have to show up for yourself, love yourself unconditionally, through both bad and accept all those moments that define you, through the trauma, through struggle, through happiness, because truthfully, like, that's what makes you who you are.
Hearing the stories of those artists really impacted them in a way that they wouldn't have imagined, and that it allowed to shed light on their work in a way that they might not have understood otherwise.
The question is, how do you translate this energy into some kind of action? Because if you have a lot of people doing a little bit, it becomes a great and powerful thing.
Be the voice. Speak your passion and make a change, because we need to love. Like, I love Dr. Martin Luther King. only love will conquer hate. So find a way, whether it's through art, speech, movement, dance, sculpture, whatever you can do, be a voice.